You sit down at 9 in the morning. Your coffee is on the right, your document is open, and your ambition is fully loaded. 20 minutes in, a notification slides across the screen. You glance at it for a few seconds before returning to your work. When you look back at the screen, there is a small, strange hesitation. You reread your last sentence, but it feels foreign. Your brain has stalled out, frozen mid-thought, while your mental cursor buffers. In that moment, you pay a tax. Researchers have measured this invisible cost at nearly 23 minutes of your productive time. This struggle to focus is governed by a hardware limitation in how the human brain handles task switching. Decoding this specific software bug in our cognitive operating system helps reveal where those missing hours of the workday actually go. In 2004, researcher Gloria Mark decided to track office workers. She didn't rely on self-reported surveys. She followed them with a stopwatch and a clipboard to record their actual behavior in real time. Her data revealed that after an interruption, it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds for a person to fully return their focus to the original task. This delay happens because of a wedge effect. Workers rarely go straight back to their primary project. They usually wedge in 2 other microtasks first, like answering a Slack message or filing a quick document. By the time you finally return to the original document, the focused version of you who wrote the first sentence has effectively left the room. To understand the mechanics behind this 23-minute lag, we look to researcher Sophie Leroy. In 2009, she identified a phenomenon called attention residue. We often imagine our attention as a fluid that moves instantly and entirely when we shift from one task to the next. Leroy's experiments showed a measurable amount of focus remains stuck in the first task, glued to the old work. This creates an open loop. The brain hates unresolved tasks, so it keeps these loops running in the background, draining cognitive RAM from your new objective. Checking an email mid-paragraph forces your brain to juggle multiple open loops simultaneously. This residue leaves your subsequent work feeling generic, slow, and cognitively compromised. Research from the University of Michigan suggests that task switching involves 2 distinct cognitive steps. The first step is goal shifting. This is the executive decision to stop doing one thing and start doing another. The second step is rule activation. This is the slower process of swapping out the mental rules, vocabulary, and operating systems required for the new task. If the previous task was emotionally charged, like a tense message, the rule activation process can practically stall out as emotion occupies your working memory. This visualization shows the math for the modern digital worker, who may execute 1,200 application switches a day. Nearly 40% of an 8-hour block is dissolved into dust purely by the friction of these transitions. Between these constant interruptions and the residue they leave behind, much of the traditional workday is consumed by the exhaust of unfinished tasks. Sophie Leroy's research points to a surprising solution for reducing this residue. High-pressure deadlines and closure are more effective than meditation or extra time. To free up its RAM, the brain simply needs to feel that a loop has closed. Even an artificial sense of completion is enough to trigger this release. You can trigger this closure using the 30-second handoff note. Before stepping away from any task, explicitly write out the literal next step for your future self. This note tells your background processor it can safely power down. This practice can reduce your return to task tax from 23 minutes to just 2. You can compound this effect with batching. By stacking small tasks into a few dedicated windows throughout the day, you minimize the number of switches you perform. This split screen shows the difference batching makes. While the left side maintains momentum, the 40 switches on the right create massive gaps where your cognitive budget is spent on the tasks rather than the work. Think of focus as a budget. Every switch is a withdrawal, and every closed loop is a deposit. Many of us have been overspending without ever checking the statement. Write the next sentence, batch the small stuff, close your loops, and stop paying the tax. For more research-backed behavioral science, hit subscribe. Staying with this video until the end was a successful deposit into your focus budget. You've already started the work.